I'm Erika Barnhart, and welcome to the Pause and Fast podcast. I've lost 90 pounds using healthy eating and clean fasting, but more importantly, I've gained clarity, confidence, and a love for real self-care. This podcast is about sharing what I've learned and creating a community where we can grow together. One mindful choice, one fast, and one day at a time. Because every time you pause, it's a choice. When you stop just for a moment, you take back your control. When you sip water instead of reaching for... Hi, I'm Erika Barnhart, and welcome to the Pause and Fast podcast. I am so excited to introduce my guest today, Star McEuen. Star is a wellness coach, and she lives in a place called Pima, Arizona. It's in between Tucson and Phoenix, correct? And I'm so excited to talk to you today, Star. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on to talk to me. I love talking to other fasters, and I've been following your journey for some time. So I'm just so excited to be able to talk to you live and pick your brain about your journey. So we'll just get started by talking about what first led you to intermittent fasting, and when was that?
Well, basically, what led me to intermittent fasting is what leads most people there, which is weight loss. But then the most of us stick around for the health benefits because we learned so much about it. And then we're like, we never want to stop fasting, right? But
Yes.
in 2019, August specifically is when I started intermittent fasting. Was really at my wit's end. I was a former personal trainer, Zumba instructor, avid CrossFitter. So I was very, very active in the gym. And then I hit about 35 years old, and I just feel like the weight just kind of started like packing on. It was like no matter what I was doing, I was still in the gym, I was still working out, counting my macros, counting my calories, and the weight just kept piling on. And then in 2019, like I mentioned, I found intermittent fasting, and it seemed like something that was so simple, and I needed simple at the moment
Hmm.
because I was so stressed and felt so defeated and just felt like I was doing all the right things to lose weight, and I was up to 207 pounds. I had never even been that heavy with my 4 pregnancies. So I was like, what? I didn't know what to do anymore. I was the most depressed I had ever been. My health was declining. My blood work was off the charts with high cholesterol. Thyroid stopped working. So I was on thyroid medication. They told me I was like borderline Hashimoto's. I was on
Wow.
all the anxiety medicine and antidepressants you could be on because I was so sad and miserable with how I looked and felt all the time. Where, I was really at a really dark place in my life. And then it just seemed like out of nowhere, this light came in. I had a best friend tell me about intermittent fasting, and she just said, it's super easy. I read this book, Delay, Don't Deny, and you just need to read it. And that was Jen Stevens' first book that she came out with, was Delay, Don't Deny. And I remember, I thought, okay, I read the book and I thought, this seems so simple, that I was like, how does this work? All I have to do is like drink water, plain water, and then I'm going to lose weight. In my brain, it was just, I didn't know how it was going to work, but I just did it because I needed to do something needed to change because it was just getting so bad. And in the first week, I had lost 5 pounds of what we of course know as inflammation and water weight and stuff like that. But it was enough to get me hooked in to where I was like, okay,
Even that feels good, doesn't it? Just to even
yeah,
lose, like, that inflammation. That's the first thing in the first couple weeks. I remember I visited my dad, and he's the first person that's mentioned it. He's like, "You look like you're losing a little weight in your face." And I was, like, so happy someone noticed because it wasn't significant weight, but it felt good, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah. You just feel so good. And I remember seeing the scale actually go down for once. And I was like, this never happens. Like I'm like, well, I don't understand. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Like I said, I started August 19th of 2019. And then by February of 2020, I had lost almost all of my weight. Let's see, I lost like 60, I can't remember what it is, 64 pounds, I think, by February. So starting in August. And then I went on to add in some like meal days after that. And then I lost like another something pounds. So my total weight loss was 81 pounds altogether. And so, yeah, it was just so incredible how my body just responded so well to the clean fasting. And it's just, I've, completely made it my lifestyle because that's what it is. And here I am 6+ years later, still intermittent fasting.
Yes, and that's a That's the real testament, right? I know I've tried so many other things, and I can't say I'm doing any of them anymore, right?
Mhm.
And it almost seems silly how easy it is. That's why I tried it. I was like, "This sounds so simple that it's almost silly. Let's just see what happens." And just like you said, my body loved it. It's like all of a sudden it was like, "Thank you for this break from eating all the
Exactly.
time." Right. And I'm just touching back on how you said you were 35. That's kind of when I started. I was always a heavier person, to be honest. But around 35, it got harder. Before I would just, pack more salad or skip dessert, and then all of a sudden I was doing all of those things and I was still gaining. Oh, it's hard, to
Yeah.
figure all that out.
Well, and now we know why, right? Like we didn't know why before. Before we were gaining weight and we didn't know why. Especially when we're, eating these calories or like you said, switching out a salad, not doing sweets, and we were still gaining. Why? Well, the reason why is because we were insulin resistant.
Yes.
So for a certain amount of time in everybody's body, they're able to we're younger, we're able to combat the insulin better, we're able to fight it more, we're maybe not eating as much different things, whatever. And so we might not be as insulin resistant or our body is able to take care of it better. But as we go on in life and stressors and oxidative stress and all the different things that can happen and we stress eat, we do all these things, we're drinking our diet cokes, we're all the things. And then now we realize like, okay, if we're always in the fed state, whether we're drinking that or eating, our body never has time to rest. Our gut never has time to rest. Our body never has time to heal because it's always working, right? So we need to get our body out of that fed state so our body isn't in this screaming insulin that we're hungry all the time. That's where food noise comes in and all that kind of stuff. So getting that insulin driven hunger and getting that insulin down is the first step in weight loss. Because if you're insulin resistant, you're never going to lose weight no matter how many calories or macros you're eating or how hard you're working out in the gym. You're not going to lose weight, and that is just a fact.
Yeah. It's a fact and it's frustrating.
Hmm.
I know that I was insulin resistant. I've mentioned this a few times, but I would eat this wonderful dinner and a few hours later be hungry again and literally in tears because I didn't understand why. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But fasting gave me permission to take a break and it all worked out. I'm so
Hmm.
glad.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So what does intermittent fasting look like for you now that you've lost the weight?
So I get asked that question a lot, or I get asked, what do I do now differently that I was doing when I was losing weight? And people usually don't like my answer, but it's nothing. I remember when I started intermittent fasting, I knew I was going to have to fast for the rest of my life. Like I knew it was a lifestyle and it wasn't something I was going to stop. But in my head, when I was losing weight, I kept telling myself, once you get to your goal weight, you're going to be able to eat all day long. You're going to be able to have a longer eating window. It's going to be great. And just get there. Just lose the weight and just get to your goal weight. And so that would keep me going, keep me going, keep me going. And then I lose almost all my weight that I wanted to lose. And I do my first podcast with Jen Stevens. And I said, hey, can I just ask it? Our podcast is over. I'm all excited. I'm like, can I just ask you one question? She says, sure, go ahead. I said, now that you've been in maintenance for at this time, she was in maintenance for like 4 years. And I was like, now that you've been in maintenance for a while, what does your fasting protocol look like? She says, well, it's about 4 o'clock. I'm probably going to break my fast soon. And then I'll eat, dinner and maybe have something else. And I was like, wait a minute. That's what I do now to lose weight. And you're still doing that in maintenance? And you've been doing it in maintenance for 4 years. And so I was like, that's when it hit me. Star, things aren't going to probably change much, but they do change in a different way. It's just hard to explain. So, like, your brain changes differently. You start choosing different options. You start caring about how food makes you feel. You start realizing that when you break your fast with XYZ, you might feel like crap. So then you're like, I don't want to break my fast with that anymore. I want to break my fast with this. Um, so learning how to eat and just but yeah, everything has evolved a lot since then, but in the very beginning, of course, clean fast is the only rule. Like there is no rules to fasting whatsoever except clean fast. So people think that they need to do a fasting protocol, and I specifically teach not to do that. Do not stick to a 18-6 or a 16-8 or a 24 because then you are being way too rigid and you're treating intermittent fasting like a diet instead of treating it like a sustainable lifestyle. You're not going to be able to
Hmm.
sit down and eat every single day at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever time it is you pick. Your times you break your fast should always change. Your times that you, how fast or long or short you fast should always change, depending on your goal and just life in general. And then your eating window should always change. So, in the very beginning, like I said, I would try to make myself get to lunch. I would break with lunch. Then sometimes I would maybe break at 2. It always depended. I was never like a super stickler on times or anything. And I really feel like that's why intermittent fasting has worked so well for me, and it's actually stuck as a lifestyle because there are no rules, there are no restrictions, there are no, I mean, there are, you have your own for your own body because this is a study of one. Things that I can do, other people can't do. Things I can eat, other people can't eat. But the whole main focus and goal is, but we're all clean fasting. And then I think just really realizing, and what I help my one on one clients to understand is that it doesn't matter if you're fasting 12 hours or 16, as long as you're clean fasting, right? So that's step number one if we're new to it.
Yes.
But also what I tell my one-on-one clients is we need to remember that autophagy, we're always getting the benefits of it as long as we're clean fasting, but autophagy will get ramped up past 18 plus hours fasted. So I have explained this to my clients for years and years and years. And then I heard somebody on a podcast use it the other day. And I'm like, that's what I use. How did you steal that? But anyway, yeah, I always tell my clients, I want you to imagine that when you're clean fasting, I don't give a how many hours it is. As long as you're clean fasting, you have like imagine Pac-Man in your body and he's eating away your fat cells while you're clean fasting. He's eating away your junky, crappy, damaged cells in your body, the things that cause Alzheimer's and dementia and diabetes and all PCOS and all the things. Your body is eating away all that junk when you're fasting, right? So you have one Pac-Man eating that. As soon as you fast and get past that 18 plus hour mark, now Pac-Man looks at his watch and he goes, she's still going. I'm tired. I need to call in my Pac-Man buddies. So now instead of having one Pac-Man, if you're past 18 plus hours, now you have a lot of Pac-Mans coming in and they're autophagies going to town. It's lots of Pac-Mans after 18 plus hours. They're eating away that crap, that junky cells, your fat, your stored fat, your everything is eating it all away. So, how long do you want to be in that fat burning stage mode? That's what you decide, type thing each day. So, if people really need to see weight loss, if they're really insulin resistant, then they really need to see themselves getting past those 18 plus hours. Once you get to maintenance and stuff like that, you're not stuck to like, I have to get to this because I'm not trying to lose weight, right? So I have a ton of flexibility in maintenance, meaning some days I just might be busy, 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 and I might fast 20 hours, 20 plus, 21, 22, 20, whatever, right? But the other key thing with fasting is don't let your brain think that you have only 24 hours in a day. Because fun fact, we don't. And your hours do not need to eat up to 24 or add up to 24. So if you can fast for 18 hours and you can eat for 2 and be done for the day. That's only 20 hours, right? You can fast for 23 hours and eat for 6 because you could have closed your fast really early yesterday. You could at 2 you close your fast at 2 p.m. yesterday, right? If it's 2 p.m. today, that's 24 hours fasted, but I could eat from 2 to 8 p.m. if I wanted to. So getting the thought out of your head that 24 hours needs to equal that, it does not. So only thing you
That's
need to
good
know,
advice.
yeah, the only thing you need to know is that 18 plus hours is more autophagy. That's more Pac-Man eating my crap. If that's what you need and that's what you want for your body, like if I had cancer or an illness or something, I would be probably alternate day fasting because I would be getting that cancer out of my body. So it depends on what your health goal is. It depends on what your weight loss goal is, like all those kinds of things. But the only common and the only constant needs to be a clean fast every single day. And if you're on vacation and you wake up and you're going to breakfast that day, but you never eat breakfast, then guess what? You're eating breakfast today. That's fun. There's no guilt. There's no shame. There's no, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess up what I'm doing. None of that crap. There's all that diet brain talk is out of your brain when you become an intermittent faster, but it literally takes so much training and so much like learning every single day. You're learning every day about your body. Like, and things will change. Your body might do really good eating a certain way. even eating or fasting certain hours. And then all of a sudden things change a little bit. Like I'm in premenopausal now. I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago because of my breast implant illness that caused it. And that's a whole nother podcast episode. But so, I've been healing from lots of things. And then I've got this premenopause going on. So I've had to shift things because, weight in certain areas has decided it wants to pack on, especially after my hysterectomy. So I've had to start learning about, do I need hormone replacement therapy? So things change throughout your journey and you can't just stick to, it's not like when I started gaining weight in areas, I was like, oh, fasting isn't working. It's not working anymore. It's worked for 6 years, but all of a sudden it's not working. No, fasting is always working. Fasting is always healing. Something starts going on in your body. That should be a red flag alert that there's other things going on, because no matter what, hands down, fasting is always working. That's just, it's science. When you truly understand the science behind intermittent fasting, true clean fasting and what that means, you're like, oh yeah, like everybody in the world needs to fast for just the health benefits alone, because it literally has awakened me to like realize, I mean, that's how I figured out I had breast implant illness, because I was so in tune with my body that I was like, I don't care what this doctor says or what that doctor says or what that doctor says. There's something wrong and it needs to be addressed. And I would not have been able to figure that out had I not been so clean with my body. Like I feel like my body was so clean, but there was still something missing that it wasn't allowing me to feel the way that I know I could feel. And that's when, again, all the alarms were going off with like it had to do with my breast implants. But so
That is such an interesting story, and I agree. Like, I never understood my body so much. Now that you have a break, you could see literally how that food affects you. Like, for example, these one meatballs I made, might make my stomach hurt, or you get it, but it gives you that clarity. So instead of you thinking maybe it's this or maybe it's that, you knew your body better.
mhm,
So the breast implant illness, I had seen that some of it had shown through skin issues with you. What
mhm.
made you know that you had that? What made you feel that way?
Well, I mean, I didn't know for sure I had it until like February of 2023. No, 2024, because this April will be 2 years that I got them out. But there were lots of different things I feel like that made me realize it was them. I had actually gotten them in 2008, and a different kind. I did saline over the muscle, all this and that. Then I gained all my weight in from 2000, more like 2016 till about 2018. I gained all that weight and then I lost all the weight, and my implants like sagged off me, like hung off of me, and they hurt like so bad, and my neck and shoulders and just everything hurt. And so I had to hold them up. They just hurt so bad. They're just, like I said, hanging off me. So I actually went to a doctor in 2021 to see about getting them out because of how bad they were hurting me. And then he's like, "Oh no, you don't want to get them out. You're 40 years old. You're gonna look terrible if we take them out. Your body's gonna be concaved, like you're gonna have sagging skin." I mean, he made it sound like I was gonna look awful. He even told me that my husband wouldn't even be able to look at me if I got them out. So it jacked my brain up real bad. Yeah. And then I literally thought in my head the only way to fix this hurtingness was to get them redone. That's literally what my brain thought, which is another super naive thing that I could kick myself every day for. So
But you
then
trusted your doctor,
I
right?
trusted
He's
the
an
doctor.
expert. I
Mhm.
understand.
Right. So then I got them redone. Like I said, after all the weight loss, this time I went under the muscle, which was the absolute worst mistake I've ever made in my life. But when I got them redone also. So what happens when you get implants, I'm just going to sum this up real quick, but your body
Just fine.
creates a capsule around the implant. So any kind of implant that goes into your body is going to, want to reject it. So it's going to send a bunch of stuff there to try to encapsulate whatever's going on so it can
Isolate.
protect you. It's
Yes.
trying to protect you. So it creates this capsule. It's this tissue that forms around the entire plastic implant. And when you get them removed, if you don't get them removed correctly, all the doctor's going to do is like slit you open and pull out the bag. But then it leaves that capsule that your body created around, it leaves that inside of you. So all the toxins that the capsule was keeping protecting you from.
Yes.
When it gets cut open and the implant gets ripped out, and then especially if you get another implant shoved in there, you got that old capsule with all that old toxins, all that old crap in it that's sitting inside of you. Then you shove another pair inside of you. So now you've got this like double whammy of the residual capsules plus the new ones. And that's when my body just freaked out. It almost just like, I don't want to say rejected them because that's not what it did. It's like what the body just does when the body can't handle any more crap type of thing. I got
Yeah.
capsular contracture, meaning my new implants were extremely hard. They hurt all the time. I was having random neck pains, joint pain, knee pain that would hurt so bad I couldn't even bend my knees like at all. Hip pain, I couldn't sit. I mean, the amount of different things. I had cellulitis on my face. I did have lots of different skin issues. They couldn't figure out why my skin was doing it. They would just give me steroids. And I mean, it was just like this whole crazy thing all the time. Also, my incredible panic attacks that I was having after the new implants were all caused from the new implants. Like so many
That
things.
makes sense.
Actually wild what it causes. But so yeah, so then I had so many crazy symptoms within those 2 years, and then I actually had a fasting client that came to me, a one-on-one client, and when we're talking in our first hour call, she told me that she had breast implant illness and how to get her implants out. And so then I started asking her questions about that. And then that kind of got the ball in my mind rolling. And then I started looking into breast implant groups and stuff like that. And once I read all their symptoms and all their stuff, I'm like, you just know in your bones and in your soul, that's what it is. And I don't know how else to explain it. And so I just was reading that and I felt so validated and I was gaslit by so many doctors. And I mean, I was having blackouts, ocular migraines. I had to wear heart monitors. Like it was a freak EKGs, EEGs, tilt tests, stress tests. Did everything and they told me I'm healthy as a horse. And I'm like, I'm not healthy as a horse. I'm blacking out. Something's wrong. And so yeah, so I just knew in my bones that's what it was. I researched and researched how to get them out because that is key in all of it. And I found a doctor in Michigan. I flew from Arizona to Michigan to get them out. And April 3rd of this year, like I said, will be 2 years. And still detoxing from all that, still healing from all that. The surgery was major, major. And I have, muscle damage that's never going to be repaired. I do have a concave chest, like that one doctor said I would, all those kinds of things. But I do always feel like fasting throughout all my surgeries as well. I have always fasted. I have never not fasted. And healing, I feel like I heal quicker from any kind of surgeries because of
I
my
would
intermittent
agree.
fasting.
Yes.
Oh,
I had a surgery, I shared with you, a foot surgery about a year ago, and my doctors were like all amazed. Like, "You need to slow down because you're healing faster. Like, be careful because 'cause you're still healing." I was, like, ready to run. Not really, but,
yeah.
healing really fast. But I did follow some of your journey, and I don't have breast implants, so I've never had to face this. But because I started following yours, I started getting more reels, and there's a lot of people in this
Mhm.
community going through this. It's actually a little alarming. So thank you for bringing awareness to it, so people don't feel so gaslighted and alone. I think that's really important.
Yes, that's the biggest thing because I just remember going to doctors and they would just be like, they would do all these tests that cost so much thousands of dollars and then they would find no answers and I would leave crying like every office visit because I'm like, I'm not making this up. But then it literally starts making you feel crazy because you're like, and then they just start throwing diagnoses at you. They're like, oh, you got fibromyalgia. Oh, you've got rheumatoid arthritis. Oh, I mean, they told me I had all kinds of actual illnesses, diseases, things like that. Also since intermittent fasting, so to come back around a little bit,
Yeah.
within 3 to 4 months of intermittent fasting back in 2019, I came off my thyroid medication because got my thyroid
Nice.
checked and they're like, "Oh, your thyroid's all of a sudden working now. So we need to back off your thyroid medication." I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." And within 4 or 5 months was completely off of that. The same with my anti-anxiety medications. I was able to come off all of those with intermittent fasting because intermittent fasting also helps us create more, I believe the def acronym or whatever is BNDF. It's some sort of chemical that is what is in antidepressants. So the chemical that they put into
Okay.
depressants, our body makes that naturally as an intermittent faster. Like you make it like more or something. So when people say they're
Okay.
happier, they're not depressed, and da 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 after they start intermittent fasting, is literally because they're producing more of the BNDF. And
Yes,
so,
it's brain-derived neurotropic factor. I
yes,
looked
I
it
knew it
up.
was something like, yeah,
Yeah, good
I
job.
don't know the name of it, but
No,
I
that
know
makes
the
sense.
initials.
All of a sudden, your body has the passageways or the abilities to make these things
Yeah.
instead of focusing on everything else.
Because when your body's healing other things, I mean, it's healing everything. It's healing your brain. It's healing inflammation in your brain so you don't get dementia or Alzheimer's. Like, let that sink in. Like,
Absolutely.
diabetes runs so bad in my family that my grandma had to live with us because she had half her leg cut off. And I was like
Mhm.
8 or 9. And I remember thinking, like, why did Nana have her leg cut off? And then my mom's like, oh, because she ate too much sugar. And so in my head, I was like, sugar is going to make my leg fall off like at 8, you know?
Yeah,
And so,
that's
but now I
very
get it.
impressionable.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now I get, and my mom was a super health nut, like total hippie and everything. So like I didn't eat sugar or sweets or anything very much at all. She was like the healthiest one in her entire family. And so I'm grateful for that though, because I'm gonna have my legs when I'm in my
Thank goodness. That's so sad. I'm sorry that that happened, but, like,
yeah.
what an impression to have on an 8-year-old, and I'm glad that you came from a healthy lifestyle. That's so helpful. But
Yeah.
did you find that fasting changed the things that you like to eat, or ha have your food choices changed since
No,
beginning
well,
fasting?
they have changed, but I consider myself a huge foodie, and I'm a food snob, and I am so picky, and I have gotten pickier after fasting because if I'm eating in a short amount of time, I'm not gonna waste my what I'm eating on like crap food or food that's not gonna make me feel good. So now my brain used to before, when I was eating and wasn't an intermittent faster, it was like, how many calories does it have? How much protein does it have? Okay, I guess I'll have it or whatever. Now my brain goes, what's in it? What are the ingredients? Like, is it, so now I'm not eating chemicals like protein shakes and protein bars and
Yeah,
freaking all the
you're
crap
not
that
eating for the macro.
you're not eating for the macro, you're eating for the nutrition. And so getting that mind shift right there has been so huge because now I don't label food as good or bad. I literally know, like I know sugar is bad for you. I know that. I'm not dumb. So I limit it because I'm an intermittent faster. So then I'm like, I have my clients do the same thing and I ask myself the same thing too. When I'm getting ready to eat something, I ask myself two things. Is this food window worthy? Or is this a window worthy reason to be eating it? So, a window worthy reason is, you're going on date night and your husband wants to share cheesecake or whatever. Okay, that's like a window worthy reason it's a date night. If it's your birthday, if it's your anniversary, if you're out of towns are just kind of like a free for all. We do our best when we're out of town and when we get home, we get right back. I mean, not a free for all. Obviously, we still fast, but it's a
Things
different
might be
fasting
different.
schedule. Yeah. And then when
Yeah.
we get home, we're just, right back to our normal fasting protocol. So now I ask myself, like, I make this homemade banana bread that's so freaking good. And it has frosting on it and everything. And I maybe make it like 2 or 3 times a year. So when I make that, I might eat half the freaking loaf of banana bread, like, because it's so good. But then I'm
That's why we
like,
make it
I'm
twice a
literally
year, right?
yeah, I'm like, I'm literally not gonna eat this again until I make it, so I have control over when I'm gonna make it again, So, if somebody shows up at my house with hot, ready to fresh homemade cinnamon rolls, those are probably maybe window worthy. Now, if I'm looking at a Twinkie in a gas station, that ain't window worthy, and there's no window worthy reason to be eating that. So, I ask myself those types of things, all the time, or so even when I am driving. Sure, I want to get an energy drink and some snacks at the gas station like everybody else in my car, but I don't because I tell myself I would rather wait, get to where we're going, freaking whatever the hell I want at Texas Roadhouse or wherever, eat the meal
Mhm.
and eat what I want and not have to be worrying about calories or any of this kind of stuff because I didn't waste my food on gas station food or whatever. So it trains your brain a completely different way where it's like, sure, I could eat that, but it's like, how's that going to make me feel after I eat it? For one, is it window worthy? Is there a window worthy reason? So, those are all some questions that really help to, because then you're the one in control. There's nobody telling you you can't have carbs. I can't have this. Like when you tell me I can't have something, that's exactly what I want. That's why diets
I am
didn't
the
work for
same.
me.
I
Like, if
am the
you told
same. As
me I
soon
gotta
as
do
I say
keto,
I'm not gonna have this anymore, it's the only thing I crave,
it's
right?
all the only thing your brain thinks of. As soon as I say, "Okay, I'm gonna do a keto diet. I got this." What does my brain only want? Carbs, carbs.
Carbs.
But if I'm not telling myself that, then it's just like I just do whatever. So in my head though, when I do go to eat, I am very conscious and I like I said, I really focus on what you break your fast with matters. So if you break your fast with crap food, garbage food, processed stuff, sugar, you are going to just set yourself up for failure because when we break our fast, we're obviously hungry. We've been fasting X amount of hours. We're going to be hungry. Give yourself food. Don't give yourself fake food like a protein shake or whatever. Protein shakes and bars are fine if you need them as like a filler thing at the back end of your eating window type of thing. Like sometimes I just, maybe don't eat enough protein and my brain goes, you should probably eat a little bit more. So maybe I'll make a protein shake or something like that. Really don't do that very often. It really just depends on, like I said, what I've eaten, how I'm feeling. I go off of all those things. I don't force protein, but I always make sure that I am breaking my fast with a high protein meal. I steer away from snacks because I feel like snacks turn into big things and then that can be a problem. So when I go to break my fast and with my one on one clients, I always tell them, break your fast with a meal, like a really good meal or like a really good high protein snack, but not very many people will sit down and eat like boiled eggs and, whatever they're wanting.
I
Like,
love
so
boiled eggs. I
yeah,
do.
I do too.
But that's something I learned as well, and I think that's part of the experimental one. For example, my husband is also a faster, and he could go in there and he's like, "Oh, I had some chips and hummus. I'm good till dinner." Nope. I would eat all the chips and all the hummus and all of my dinner. Like, so I open with like a nice hearty salad or something like that that has a little bit of weight to it, right? So
Mhm.
I can't just have a snack or else I put myself in that trap where I'm like at the in the refrigerator staring and all of a sudden just like throwing like, "Here's some olives, here's some cheese." I'm just snacking
Exactly.
without thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I
So
do the
I
ex
plan it.
Mhm. Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's helped me a lot, and that's just a tweak you have to find out. For some people, it works well, and not for me. Once I open that window, I am a volume eater. I like to eat.
Yeah, I'm a volume eater
Absolutely.
too. But it also changes, I feel like, again, that's another thing that changes for a lot of people. Because in the beginning, I did break my fast, like, with, like, a snack or with whatever and yada yada yada, but then over time, it was like, I don't wanna break my fast with that, or same thing I started noticing like you is I would break my fast with my snack, but then I was eating and this was as I was farther into my fasting journey, like, once you become fat adapted, so once your body is working properly and your metabolism and everything, you're gonna notice how you're feeling. You're gonna notice different things. So yeah, you really have to pay attention because I started noticing that like what you just said, I was breaking my fast and I would break my fast with like hummus and pita chips. I would eat all the hummus and pita chips. And then like 4 or 5 hours would go by and it would be like, oh, I actually should be eating dinner, but then you're like, you would kinda hardly eat dinner because you got so full on your bucket of hummus and freaking
Yeah.
pita chips. Then you kinda sorta eat dinner, but not really, and then you close because that's, what you do, but then the next day you're starving at, like, 9 AM, and I'm like, "Why am I hungry at 9 AM?" I'm like, because I ate a shit ton of hummus and freaking pita chips, and then I basically ate nothing else because I snacked on my dinner because I was so full from that. So I got
I've
no
done that too.
nutrition. So I was like, what am I doing? And so then I was like, okay, I'm hungry when I break my fast. So I need to break it with like my main-ish meal type of thing, whenever and then I just see what else happens after that. Like sometimes, depending on what my meal was, how nutrient dense it was, how much protein it might have had in it that's going to keep me satisfied. I do try to focus on high protein meals for lots of different reasons, but the main two reasons is number one, if you break your fast with high protein meals, you're going to have less of a insulin spike. And that's the whole point, right? We don't want to spike a whole bunch of our insulin because we don't want it to store everything as
Yes.
fat. So if we have protein is going to be more of a baseline amino acid that's going to keep us full and satisfied longer, and it's also going to cause less of a blood sugar spike, and that's what we want. So,
That's what we want. That's perfect. So would you say often you do what your protein choices, you had mentioned eggs or what would be like a high protein window
so
opener?
well, and again, I don't really break with any kind of snacks, and I only like boiled eggs. I hate actual eggs, but I like boiled eggs. But I really break with the only time. that I feel like I break with a snack opener type thing is I'll get, like, almost a cup of cottage cheese. So that's like, 25 grams of protein there. But then and then I'll make, like, avocado toast on homemade sourdough bread. No, I don't make
Yum.
it. I buy it. I don't wanna go down I love sourdough bread with my whole heart and soul. It's the only bread I eat, but I, like, refuse to bake it for some reason. So instead, I just pay $15 a loaf for it. But,
That's funny.
yeah. So, homemade sourdough bread, real avocado that I smash up and put on there, and then I put feta cheese on it, and then I like this chili oil drizzle stuff from Trader Joe's, and I sprinkle that over
Yum.
it. I put sprouts on top, and then I have a side of cottage cheese, but a big old cup of it. So that's like a really good fast
That's a
breaker thingy for
meal.
me.
Yes, that's a small
Like,
meal.
I mean, that's like a small meal for sure. So I can eat that and I can be satisfied for like hours and then I can eat dinner. So that's like the only type of snacky thing that I honestly really have, unless, because I really just try to break my fast with my main meal. Like, even if that's at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whenever, but like I'm really trying to break my fast with like what I'm gonna eat for the day. And then I kind of just like go on after that and eat whatever. If I'm hungry, I eat, and if I'm not, I'm not. Like, it's so simple now that it just blows my mind how overcomplicated everybody makes, like, weight loss, and it's frustrating to me because I feel like I have this super simple thing, like, on this platter to hand to people, and then everybody's just like, "I don't know," and I'm
I
like,
don't know.
"How?" It's so
And it's so simple, like you had said, even a 12-hour fast is significant, so start by not eating eat from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That seems like really an easy thing to do, but people really get stuck on it, and people
They
ask
do.
me a lot, but like, "But there has to be something that you're eating that's different." I'm like, "Not really." I mean, yeah, maybe I don't go to McDonald's as much as I used to, right? Or I'm more aware of a lot of those things, but I had pizza yesterday during the
Yeah, like,
Royal
I eat
Rumble,
fast food.
and I loved it.
Yeah, like, I eat fast food all the time, like, I know like, I control what I can control in my home and whatever. In my home, I don't eat, store-bought salad dressing. I don't eat, the store-bought food that probably has the inflammatory seed oils in it and stuff like that. But when I'm, or every once in a while, if I'm eating out, I'm gonna go to Cane's, and I know that they fry their chicken in freaking vegetable oil that's inflammatory, but I don't care. Like, I'm eating
Yes,
Cane's. And
but
I
you don't
don't
eat
even
that
live
every day.
Yeah, I don't even live by one. So I'm like, if I'm gonna get it, like, I might eat it once a month maybe, or but, like, with you too, like, we might order pizza sometimes, and I know that pizza's gonna make me feel shitty. I already know that, but that's what today's holds. So today we're eating pizza and just well, like, it's not
Well,
like yeah, it doesn't throw me off my rocker. I don't go, "Oh, I guess I can have a cheat meal. I guess I can cheat and have
no,
pizza."
it's
Like,
just a meal.
yeah, it's just a meal. There is no cheat meal. There are no, off days. There are no wagons we fall off of. None of that. It's just what did you choose to eat for your body today? Like, and sometimes
Yes,
life gets in the way and you have to go get order pizza, and that's just what it is. Like, it's not the end of the world. And before, it used to be the end of the world. Like, before, you would get so guilty and you just feel like you're eating it and you're liking it, but you're in your head, you're like, this is gonna make me fat, or this is like, you're thinking all the diet brain
I
thoughts
have
while
no
you're
willpower, I'm the
Yes,
worst, yes.
yes, and you
Yeah,
just talk negative to yourself, like, there is no negative talk with fasting at all. Like, it's
yes, and
I
isn't
can't
that I'm sorry, it's just a huge boost for your
Mhm.
confidence and everything, you should be nicer to yourself, and it does help you be nicer to yourself. I feel nothing about the pizza I ate yesterday, like, literally nothing.
Right,
So,
right, like, it's
yeah,
so amazing, it's so freeing. When people say that fasting is freeing, those are the kinds of things that it frees you from. It frees you from that diet chamber or whatever of just, like, that mental diet brain mentality that's just it's so hard to get out of, like, it really is.
absolutely. And that's why it's so important to take care of yourself, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. I think that, you really have a great approach to self-care. So could you tell me a little bit about what self-care looks like for you now?
Well, I mean, so I feel like I do self-care myself with just, my diet and how I'm eating and all that kind of stuff. But then also after finding breast implant illness and everything like that, I actually stumbled across a very clean, holistic, organic skincare company that they have internals that you can take that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Like, they have an immune booster. and it's also like a detoxer, it's safe for kids, like all the things, it's like anti-inflammatory, it's absolutely amazing, 30 times more powerful than vitamin C, elderberry, more antioxidants than blueberries, like it's ORAC off the charts scale on the ORAC scale. And so I've really gotten into that kind of self-care of just taking care of my what goes on my body because I am so conscious about what goes in my body now, especially from, like I said, from breast implant illness, that I'm like, I am not putting any more toxins or fillers
Yes,
or anything in my body. I've gotten Botox 3 times in my life, and I love Botox because I hate my wrinkles. But after breast implant illness, the last thing I'm gonna do is shove neurotoxins into my body at all. So I'm all about the clean skincare products, and that's, doing the face masks and taking care of my outer appearance just as much because our skin is our largest living organ, so we
it
definitely need to
is.
take care of that. And I never had any kind of skincare. I never cared about skincare. I thought skincare was honestly a waste of money, and it really is, except for this kind because our skincare is not made with water. It's made with hydroxytyrosol, and any type of ingredient, lotion, soaps, whatever you put on your body, the first ingredient is water. And when water is the first ingredient in anything you're putting on your body, that means that it is filled with additives and preservatives and fillers that are going to not work in synergy with your body. The products that I use are bioactive, so they do work in synergy with your body, and your body thrives with them. So, that's
That's
another
cool.
big thing, yeah, that
I've been
people
watching, like I said, for a little while. You're on Instagram and everything, and sometimes you post videos and you have your face mask on, and I
yeah,
could just attest for anybody that's listening that your skin is it's glowing, it's beautiful. And
thank you.
goals, right? It just looks like dewy and perfect and kinda like you, it's one of those things I wanna step into next, like, look at my skincare line because I am so basic, it's embarrassing,
Well,
right?
I was
Even
too. I was Oilable, Walmart, whatever
yeah,
Costco had when I walked in. I'm like, "Yeah,
I'm
I'll
a
grab
clean and
that."
clear and Lubriderm kinda girl,
Yep,
but
yep, I was the same way, and now I'm like, "Oh, okay," and, like, even when I put the lotion on, like, my skin doesn't get all white and chalky like it used to. It never feels dry. Like, I feel so hydrated all the time that it blows my mind. Because my skin used to be so bad. It was mainly because of the breast implants, but my entire body would flake with skin, like dead skin. It was so gross. Like I could never go to a dressing room and try on clothes because as soon
you
as I
leave
took my
stuff
clothes
behind.
off, just skin would just fall everywhere. I was like a lizard. And that was all because of my breast implants. But and it didn't matter how much I exfoliated, it didn't matter what tallow, what freaking cream, thick cream I put on my body, I would flake seconds later. And ever since using all of Ada's products and then also getting off the breast implant illness, but my skin is just hydrated and happy now.
That's
So
awesome.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
if people were interested in learning about Oliveda, they could reach out to you.
Definitely. Have them reach out to me. There's like so many products that are literally so amazing and good that will help your body. Like even the collagen that I take is my hairdresser that I've had for 18 years. The last time I went in, she's like, "Are you taking any kind of multivitamin? Because your hair has never felt this good." I have horrible, thin, very thin hair. That's why I have one row of hand tied extensions in because my hair is just so thin. And she's seriously like, "Your hair's getting so thick, like, you might not even end up needing extensions anymore." Because I just get them for the fullness. And I'm like, "I tell you, it's these collagen peptides I'm taking, like, they're so good." It's liquid gold is what they call it. But, yeah, joints don't hurt anymore, like, it's amazing. So,
How
that's
cool.
my
Maybe I'll check
self-care.
it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
reach out to me for sure.
Yeah. I've
And
been
the
thinking
cool
about it for
thing
a
about
minute.
this company is they have a 365-day return policy. Who does
What?
that? You could use these
Nobody.
you could use these products for 11 months and be like, "You know what? I don't like them." They could be empty with none, like literally none in them, and you could send it back and get a full refund. I haven't had a client that's done that because everybody is absolutely obsessed. As soon as they feel it on their skin,
Yeah.
you know right away. You're like, "Oh my gosh."
But it's good to know that they stand by their product strong
They
enough that if this doesn't work for you, even if you decide in 3 months,
Yep.
we'll get it
We'll
back.
we'll get
Yes.
it back to you full refund.
That's
Yep.
wonderful. Wow,
Yeah.
thank you, Oliveda. I'm gonna check you
I
out.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will, I will. I was just gonna switch gears for a second. You had mentioned that before you had been a Zumba coach and you were doing CrossFit. So how do you approach movement and exercise now and to support your body?
So I need to get better about this for lots of reasons. For one, I need
Same.
to be trying to heal from my explant surgery. But the best I do is get on my walking pad right now. And I can't even tell you that I get on that regularly. Like my life is so upside down. I was out of town for 2 weeks in January. I was supposed to start this new booty program I bought on
Booty
Instagram. I'm
program.
like, I got this booty program. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I did it for one day and then I had to go out of town, and then I was out because I had an emergency, and I was out of town, ended up being gone for 2 weeks. So I feel like that's another thing that's, I wanna say kind of hard, but also what I love about intermittent fasting, but in a way it makes me lazy because I'm like, I didn't work out one time when I was losing my weight at all. I haven't worked out really one time in the last 6.5 years. So when people are like, "Well, what do you do with your arms?" Da, 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 da," I'm like, y'all know that when we intermittent fast, we produce more of the HCG hormone. So the
Yes,
human growth hormone. So you are naturally, as a clean intermittent faster, building lean muscle. So my arms look toned. My thing,
they do.
people think I work out and I don't, but that's just because of doing everyday life stuff, lifting up the vacuum cleaner or I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever, picking
Carrying
stuff up, carrying
laundry.
things,
Yes.
doing normal stuff. But because I'm an intermittent faster, I'm producing more of the human growth hormone, so I'm going to get that lean muscle there. But I have tried, like I said, I would for 1 week. I think I did like 2 days worth of exercises. I was like, go me, and then I was off for like something happened, and then so literally I walk, but I'm gonna really try to get into today was actually the day I was supposed to restart my booty program. So we'll see if I can get in on
Maybe
that.
after this, you have to let me know. Message
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I
So,
love that. And I'm
but
kind of the same, just to
let me
agree. Yeah.
also say, moving your body is extremely important. And I am not in any way, shape, or form saying not to exercise. Exercise is extremely important. It's so good for you. Getting out and walking. My beef with this a little bit is, though, is I don't think that people need to be rigid with an exercise workout program either. I know people that are so insanely crazy with it that, like, if they go out of town, they still need to go to a gym every single day that they're out of town. And I'm like, when do you ever like enjoy life? Like, do you ever do that? Or are you just all like gym, 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 gym? Cause I don't want that anymore. Like, I lived that life for so many years and the gym was my life. And I don't know what it did to me, but it almost like did something to me that has made me almost resent it. So I feel like I'm having a really hard time getting back in the gym because I like resent it in a way. But I know that building muscle, especially older in age, I'm gonna be 44 next month. So
Oh,
I'm
happy
like,
birthday.
thank you. So I'm like, okay, I know that muscle, in our older age and premenopausal stuff is extremely important. So I'm like, I need to start kind of doing something. So I literally have thought about maybe jumping into Pilates, but part of me doesn't want to go to the gym to do that because I don't want to be around people. And I don't know. I'm
I
weird.
don't
I'm
love the
weird.
gym either. I was just watching a video on like wall Pilates. I was like, I could do this. I
I
was
think
thinking
I'm
about
gonna
maybe
do
starting some wall
Yeah,
Pilates.
I think I'm gonna get me a YouTube video up and I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and I've been doing yoga once in a while. That's something like I said, I had that foot surgery last year and I like walking and it kind of like
Yes.
put a damper in my walking. I was walking. But
Yes.
I didn't I gained a few pounds, but I think a lot of it was also wider windows. But I was getting dressed yesterday and I had on a tank top underneath, like an undershirt. And my husband's like, your arms look really good. Like, I was like, I'm literally doing nothing. I just carrying in groceries, maybe a little snow shoveling lately because it's
Mhm.
Pittsburgh and we just had some snow, which I'm so jealous of your warm weather, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to get outside if the weather was nice, but it also gets very hot in Arizona, correct?
Yes, like, you literally have a really short window, like, my mom lives with me, like, part of the time, and so when she's here, she'll be like and she's older, she's, like, 73 or whatever, so we'll get out and go for a walk or whatever, but it's crazy, like, you get to a certain time, and then it's just so hot that you're like I literally go walk to get a tan, like, that's the one thing, like because it's like, "Wait, I could put a tank top on, I can go walk, get some steps in." So but, like
Vitamin D.
yeah, and vitamin D because that's super important, especially in the morning. If you wanna produce more melatonin, get your vitamin D in the morning. Nobody knows or people, like, don't realize that, but get your vitamin D from the real sun. Even 10 to 15 minutes of sitting outside in the morning, you're gonna produce more melatonin and you'll sleep better at night.
That's a really good advice, because your body needs to know whenever it's dawned, and, it helps. That's something I've actually been doing too, and I dress like an Eskimo, but I'm in the cold weather and I have my robe on, but I'll go outside and just get the sun on my face and my arms a little bit. I take off my glasses because I had heard
Yes.
that even that could block it, and just watch my dogs play while I'm letting them out, but I'm, like, just more mindful about getting that morning sun, even when
Mhm.
it's cold. Anybody can stand outside for 10 minutes and get a little
Yeah,
sun,
for sure.
even when
Yeah,
it's cold.
yeah.
So, what kind of surprising benefits have you experienced with intermittent fasting? Anything that is beyond weight loss?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many benefits. That question is so heavily loaded that I feel like all the benefits, it's like, okay, well, just listen to the last hour that we talked about. Those are all the benefits because,
Precisely.
that I mean, no more thyroid medication, no more, swollen joints being told I have rheumatoid arthritis, no more anxiety medications and depression medications. My blood work is all, perfect now. Everything, cholesterol, all the things are where they need to be. Not to mention, really feel like fasting gets you so in tune with your body. And so I just really feel like if I wouldn't have been so in tuned with my body, who knows how long it would have taken me to figure out about breast implant illness. So for me, that is a huge thing because if I would have still been heavy and everything, because when I had my implants and I was heavy, it never dawned on me that why I was so heavy could have had something to do with the inflammation from the implants. But that is another thing that like my implants could have been causing a lot of my inflammation and weight gain. My first set of implants could have been causing that, but I never knew that. So there's just so many things that known and realized had I not been an intermittent faster. So that's just I mean, there's so many health benefits to intermittent fasting that there's absolutely no way I feel like we could ever say all the beautiful, amazing things that intermittent fasting will do and how it can 100% change your life. Like it makes me extremely emotional when I think about it too much because it literally I don't know what I would have done if I wouldn't have found intermittent fasting in 2019 because I was bad, sad, depressed, like it was a dark, dark time. So I'm so grateful to my friend that told me about intermittent fasting and and I guess I should be a little bit proud of myself too. I don't think I give we give ourselves enough credit, because a lot of people tell me I can never do what you do. You're so disciplined. And I'm like, "You know what? Like, thank you for saying that," because a lot of people will, like, just say other things, and that just means more to me than anything. Like, she's specifically because she's on a GLP-1, and she's like, "I've tried to do fasting like you do, but I just am not disciplined enough. Like, you're just amazing, and I need that extra, like, help or whatever from the GLP to keep me disciplined, and you're just able to do that naturally." And I'm like, wow, like you're honestly right. And also, again, thank you for saying that because most people would never say something like that. And so because it does. It takes a lot of discipline, but once you get your mind around it and once you truly understand all the health benefits that fasting will bring to your life and do for your body, it's literally something that you would never want to stop doing. Like you want to be all in head first with it because it's literally just that amazing and it has so many benefits on so many different levels that I'm so obsessed with it that I swear I'll shout it from the rooftops till the day I die.
That's why I'm here. I just want everybody to know, and like you said, it's just so much beyond weight loss. It's gonna keep me fasting forever, and it is discipline, but very quickly it becomes habit, and
Yeah.
even now I enjoy it. And there's
Yes.
not any days where I'm like, "Oh, I have to be disciplined again." This is just like, "Oh, this is how my body functions best, and I
Yeah.
like it."
Well, and like what people say, like we need to appreciate the fasting hours just as much as our eating and hours or whatever. And I feel like once you become an intermittent faster for a while, you do get to that point where the fasting hours aren't daunting. You're not white knuckling up. You're like, I feel so good when I'm all empty and like you got all
Yes,
this energy and you're just like, ah. And then as
I
soon
feel
as I eat,
bouncy.
yeah. And then as soon as you eat, you're kind of like not a damper, but I mean, like, depending on what food you eat, you will feel like I'll be all happy and energetic, and then I eat, and I'm like, "Let's take a nap." But that's
Go and
usually only
doze
if I eat
off.
crap food. Like, if I eat pizza, if I break my fast with pizza, I'll be so full, and then in, like, 30 minutes, I'll wanna take a nap, and then in, like, an hour and a half, I'll be starving again because pizza just goes right through me or something, so I really need, like, more like, a salad with it or some extra protein with it because if I just eat pizza alone, I'll be hungry in, like, no
I'm the
time.
same. I
Yeah.
need some vegetables or some nutrients in there.
Yeah, for sure. And those are the things that we learn and we figure out with, with intermittent fasting and with ourselves too. Like there's just certain foods that you'll realize like, oh, when I eat that, it makes my stomach hurt. Or to where before you would never know when you ate that it makes your stomach hurt because your stomach might always hurt or it might always hurt after you eat. But when you become a faster and you start realizing things like, it's real easy to like when people do the elimination diet and stuff like that. I'm like, just intermittent fast, you'll figure out real quick like
You'll
what
figure
you
it out.
yeah, you'll figure it out. So, food noise quieted, so now you can actually listen to your own body, which is amazing.
Yes, yes. Now, we've talked a lot about some tools and resources, but whenever you're talking to your clients, what tools, resources, books or apps, what kind of things do you recommend to people along the way?
I mean, it depends. Like with my one-on-one clients, I use an intermittent fasting app with them. I actually still use this app. I do it more for my followers, but also it keeps me in check as well. So I still like to use it, but I use the Window app, which
Mhm.
is the app that Jen Stevens' son created, but then he sold it. But they recently, about a year ago, started charging for it. So a lot of my clients don't want to have to pay for it. If you had it previously, you're like grandfathered in, so you can still like
Okay.
use the app, but and you won't have to pay for it. So I'm still able to use the app. But the other app that I recommend that people want to for a free app is it's called Easy Fast. I hate
Easy
the
fast.
Zero app. I hate the other one that quit Life or I don't know. There was two of them that everybody used. I don't like either of them. And I'll tell you why, but for one is because it doesn't let you make it flexible. It makes you pick a fasting protocol. And that's like
Yes.
literally the number one thing I said that we don't do is pick a fasting protocol. I want to be able to push the button. I want to see a timer that's telling me how long I'm fasting so I know I'm past 18 or I'm at 19 or whatever, especially if I was trying to lose weight, I would need to keep track of that. And then you'll push the button when you go to break your fast and open your eating window. And then a new timer will start that's showing you how long you're eating for. Then at the end of the day, when you decide to stop eating and start your next fast, you push the button again. So you're only pushing the button twice. And again, on the easy fast in the top right hand corner, make sure it says flexi mode because we want it flexible where we just push the button when we want, push it when we're done eating. That's the apps, the two different apps that I use. I do have a free fasting guide that I've created because I feel
Yes.
like my way of fasting is different than like a lot of other people teach because I teach flexibility. I teach sustainability. So this isn't, I don't teach like the quick fix fasting, lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks with me. No, like I'm like, we're doing this long term or not at all. Okay. Like so yeah, so I that's what I have the free fasting tool that I give. I even created an ebook because I feel like I call it the STAR method because I again feel like my method is just like super sustainable and a lot more easy to understand why we're doing it, all those kinds of things. So those are two tools. And then but then also I got to go back to the mother of fasting. I will always and forever be grateful to Jen Stevens for her and writing and telling us her story, which it's basically her story in Delay Don't Deny and she has revised that book. So I do really recommend the new revised vision of Delay Don't Deny
Yes.
to
Revision
read.
number 2. Check it
Number
if you're buying
2.
it used.
Yes. So if you're buying it used, make sure it's the number 2 one, but like I said, I would just really try to get that revised one just because she revised a chapter in there that was, like, extremely important. So but the other main one that I always recommend too is her Fast, Feast, Repeat because that has enough science-y stuff in it to where all those people that are need to get their brain around the science part of it, I recommend that book because then they get all of it. They're going to get the science part of it. They're going to understand why they should even fast in the first place. They're going to understand, like I said, the science, like all those things. And it makes so much more sense. So the Fast, Feast, Repeat, and Delay, Don't Deny are huge. And then just because I don't talk a whole lot about the science, even in my ebook. So that's why I bring up the Fast, Feast, Repeat. Um, but yeah, so that's just what I do. I post on my social media every single day. I'm always in my stories talking about what I'm doing, what's working, all those kinds of things. But those are basically the only, I don't really have other fasting tools that I just staying busy and not fasting out just helps a lot.
That's great. Yes. What social medias accounts can people follow you on? I know I follow you on Instagram.
I'm mainly on Instagram. It's mainly where I post. So I'm just Star McEuen on Instagram. And then I do post on TikTok. And I'm going to try to get a little bit this year, a little bit more into TikTok, but I just don't, I'm not user friendly with it. I don't know why it's not user friendly to me like it is to all the kids, but I'm like, I can't figure it out. Instagram is my jam.
And if someone wanted to get your book, I know it's called The Star Method: Intermittent Fasting for Sustainable Weight Loss and Food Freedom. And where can they get your book?
Go to my website. It's on my website. So
Yes.
yeah, lovemyfastinglife.com. I forgot I put it there because I didn't know where else to put it. So if you want my book, it's $7. It's an ebook. You're going to get it sent to you. It's amazing. It really is. But it's yeah, go to lovemyfastinglife.com and you'll see it on there.
Love My Fasting Life. And you also have two cookbooks available there as well, right?
It's just one, but yes.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay. God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
My
How
secret
fun.
book. Yeah.
What is it called again? My Secret
It's called Star's Secret Cookbook. So literally it's all of
Stars
my
Secret.
family's like recipes that people have been asking me for years and years and years to give out that I just never ever would. It still almost makes me a little bit sick that I have them out there because I'm like, these are my family secrets, but also they're
That's it.
so good enough to share, like they're just the recipes are so good that I feel like you could literally get that book and eat one recipe. And plus, I have all my protein hacks on there. So, all the things that I do to keep, protein on hand all the time, I have those in there. I give the recipe, but then I also give a little like, this is my favorite thing to eat to break my fast with or whatever. So, I kind of incorporated fasting stuff into the cookbook as well. Yeah.
That's so cool. That is very cool. I'm gonna check that out as well. I'm always looking for good recipes, and I'm gonna steal all your family secrets. Just
Yes,
kidding.
do it.
So that leads me to, what advice would you give to someone who's just beginning or if they're considering intermittent fasting?
Basically, just give yourself grace, okay? And know that, like, this is the last thing you're ever going to have to do for your health, your wellness, and your weight management. And as long as you are clean fasting, don't get hung up on the hours, okay? So, and especially if you're new and you're just starting out, just move a couple of things. If you love breakfast and you're really used to getting your day going with that, you could just scoot breakfast a few hours. So if you wake up at 6 and you're normally drinking coffee by 6:30 or 7, don't drink the coffee with your creamer and your stuff in it, right? First off. And then, make yourself some eggs and some sausage or whatever, and then have your coffee with that in the morning if that's what you want, and then just go throughout your day. And then if you have lunch, have lunch. If you have dinner, this is if you're a beginner, you can still have all those three meals or whatever. Just I say move the bookends. So move
Yes.
your breakfast this way a little bit. And then another rule of thumb that I have for my one-on-one clients is really try to close your eating window 2 to 3 hours before bed. For one, you're just going to sleep better. Like I've got people that have restless legs and all kinds of stuff. And they
Mhm.
literally, if they stop eating early enough, they don't get restless legs and stuff in the evening. So that's another big thing there. But so just trying to close 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, you're going to just notice a difference there. I feel like you'll sleep better because your body's not trying to digest all your food because you ate at 8:30 at night or whatever, which sometimes I still eat late. I'm not going to say I never do. Like I think last night I ate till 8 o'clock, but yeah, but always, and then just don't get hung up on times. Don't think that you need to, never try to open at the same time every day and stuff like that. You should always be opening at a different time every single day, moving it. Your fasting hours should move around, and so should your eating windows. And as long as you stay extremely flexible like that, you're gonna figure it out, and you're gonna be like, okay, your body is gonna start getting in a mode. You're gonna start healing your metabolism. Your body's gonna start becoming fat adapted. You're gonna have more energy. You're just going to feel so good. You're going to notice your joints feeling better. Clothes will start fitting different. Your face is going to start puffing down. Like you're going to feel so good. Just stick with it though. And don't be like, I've been in it for 2 months and it's not working. Well, what are you doing? Are you only fasting for 12 hours? Because you're not going to see mad results in 12 hours of fasting. So,
Yes.
it's like, it's just really figuring out, that, but just sticking with it, make your food choices. What you break your fast with matters. So don't, that's like rule number one. What you break your fast with matters, along with clean fasting, obviously, is rule number one. But what you break your fast with matters just as much as anything else, and make sure that you're looking at the ingredients and you're going to be fine. Like it's going to be easy. Plain water. And again, for those that don't know, clean fasting just means during the fasted hours you're only allowed to have clean plain water or clean or plain sparkling water, black coffee. So you can't have like hazelnut roasted beans that you dripped black and then you drank black because they were roasted in hazelnut. So you already screwed up type of thing. So we're talking regular old, Folgers
Black coffee.
black coffee, yeah, and then you can have black green tea or you can have black tea. Those are like the areas that we're allowed to have. I don't tell people to mess around with electrolytes, but I think that's just such a gimmicky thingy, but if every once in a while you want electrolytes, you gotta make sure they're plain or have them in your eating window. Exactly, and that's what I always think. So I'm like, "Or just do this."
Yeah, or just try this instead. Yeah, just try it. You'll love it. And I always love thinking about it. It's like the thing I've tried that sounded the hardest, but it's the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah, I
Awesome.
agree too. There's nothing simpler. And I've used that word like it's the easiest thing I've ever done. And one time a client kind of clocked me and she's like, it's not easy. I'm like, okay, it's not easy, but it is simple. And when you figure it out, and it will be the simplest thing that you've ever done to keep your weight into check once you figure out your study of one and just being so patient. Because if somebody is super insulin resistant, they're not going to see incredible weight loss right away. It's going to take months to bring down their insulin resistant. And that, step one of weight loss is bringing down that force field of insulin that's blocking you from tapping into your stored fat. And if you are on calorie counting and you're working out and you're trying to lose weight and you're not, then start clean fasting and the weight's going to start coming off. So,
Yes, you might have some things to heal inside first, but it will all add up. It's
yep,
compounding. These
yep,
little things make a big difference.
100%. So,
Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, Star. I had a really great time talking to you, getting to know you better.
yes.
I'll be following along with your journey, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And again, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pause and Fast podcast. It truly means the world to have you here showing up for yourself and for this community. So please remember to subscribe to this channel and like and share this video with anybody who's interested in intermittent fasting. If you want to keep the conversation going, then please join us at the Pause and Fast Facebook group. It's where we connect with each other and support each other on this journey. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more fasting tips and advice. And if you feel compelled to share your journey, I would be honored to hear it. So please